my topic also on the thing, but it's fine next time. Thank you, Mandisa. Yes, topic spirituality versus religion. Khotso ngwana wa bonkgono, khotso TikTok. Hey, Basotho, TikTok. Thokoza, dumela, khotso, lesedi, madume, re a lotjha. Kaofela dumelang, sanibonani. Yeah, okay guys, so let me get to it. The reason why I'm doing this topic of spirituality, or the differences between spirituality and religion, I, as Gogo Noma, firstly let me just say that I need to do a disclaimer that everything, as I always say in this classroom, it is about my own experiences, it is about my own journey. It really is not me standing here and advocating for the masses, but it's me coming into this classroom, as I always say, that it is a classroom, that you are going to learn about my own experiences, and from it take whatever that resonates with you and walk with it. And that is why I'm here today, to talk about the difference between religion and spirituality, because I feel that we are now also getting into a position where spirituality is being turned into a religion. And you will understand as I unfold in the lesson why it is so important for me to come and say spirituality. There is a difference between being a spiritual being a spiritualist, being spiritual, and being religious. Are the two separated, like separatable? Can you separate one from the other? In many instances, not really, but it is important to know how to distinguish one from the other. Okay, let's see. Okay, I love the hair Gogo. Thank you. It's new, but it's not even new, I think, for those who know me from a while back, when I still had my hair, because I had to cut my hair due to, last year this time, due to the passing of my paternal grandmother. But this is me. That's why even on Instagram I've said remembering Sister Noma, because this is what this is what my colleagues knew. Simple, clean, no stress at all. That's how I love my hair. All right. And then we sort of like, Lottie, you asking me about the cloth. I don't have WhatsApp friends. I only have patients and clients and people that I talk to. If you want private guidance and consultations, you will then need to WhatsApp me, but you will follow the instructions on the WhatsApp. Thank you, Mandisa. Yes, spirituality versus religion, no dream interpretations today. So when we come to religion, and I'm going to try to give you the definition as you would then find on Google or on most of the texts that are written, because religion is seen as a set of specific organized beliefs and practices that are usually done for a collective, whether it's a group of people or a community of people, whichever way you would like to see it. So it is an organized, it's structured. That is religion. There is structure in religion. You do it the righteous way, or the sinful way. There's also that doctrine or that dogma that comes with religion, because it is the righteous or the sinful way. It is either good or evil. Everything in religion is structured. So there is a path that you need to walk in, or there is sort of like a path. When you walk in a field, you can basically move anywhere, but because everybody is using this same footpath, therefore there's no grass growing there, and we are all able to walk there. Everybody's gonna walk there. Even if it means you are going on the other side, you will still, same as the roads, because there's a road that leads you somewhere. There's no shortcut for the car will always be on the same road. So even when we look at our roads, this can be a very good example for one to understand religion, to say, even if I know that I am coming to or maybe like on my side, I'm going from my house to to Joburg CBD. There's many shortcuts that I can take if I were on foot, but because I'm in my car, then I need to take a certain road. So that is religion, where each and every person again in the religion will be identified by certain characteristics, or there will be a certain thing that puts us together. And this is why in many religions we will then find people behaving in a certain way. For you to be identified as a ZCC member, we need to see certain things. One of them, for an example, being a badge. Secondly, you know that you cannot be a lady like myself or even female and you have your badge on, you've got your trouser, and you've got to have your skirt, which is supposed to be either by your knee or below your knee. You need to have your head wrapped. So there is a certain also, I'll say, image that comes with religion. Like myself, ke mopostola, the Zionist Tribuna Skupu, or there's the church that I grew up in. You would find that we have what is then referred to as joining kereke. You know, join meaning you are joining this church. There's the certain look that you need to have. We wear the blue and white, and even in the different apostolic or Zionist church, you will find the different joins. The clothing that we wear, the garments that we wear, they will be very different to identify Jerusalem Apostolic Church from Kgopotso Apostolic Church. And I'm talking about the ones at home because those are the ones that I'm familiar with. I'll always go to my point of reference, and that will be experiences that I've heard. But when we are all really apostola, for us to identify again each other without, you know, the separation, yeah, we're not we're not Jerusalem, we will have what we call Nazareta, the white long garment that you find wearing, that mostly you will wear after you've been baptized at the river. So that is religion. Everything is so structured. Everything is so directed. And you have to understand that you either do it this way or there's no right way. You know, it's the religion's way or there's no other way. It will be righteous or sinful, like I said, good or evil. So let me, before I even continue more on religion, go a little bit into spirituality so that we don't lose the differences. I said that in religion we talk about structured beliefs, and when we go to the spirituality, it is about individual practices. Spirituality has a lot to do about peace, harmony, balance, equilibrium with self and nature and everything else around you, being it the universe, even the people that you live with, the very same human beings that you live with. And it is about the purpose. So when we talk about spirituality, it's you going within, finding out why I am here, finding out how I can contribute to the masses. It's individual practices. You do not copy and paste what Noma is doing, and it's not structured. And that is why we always say, for an example, when you talk about meditation, you will then learn the different types of meditation and you will practice the one that resonates with you, but still it will fall under meditation. But with religion, if in this church, when we pray, we are supposed to start first by calling, you know, Jehovah, saying Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah. Like if it is that is the practice, then that is how you will be expected. Hence, we will look at Roman Catholic Church for an example, where they will then talk about Me Maria ya Lerato, Maria Mea Molimo, those kind of prayers, you know. Where they are very, like they are there, they are written, and you will follow that religion. Some even have the books where you learn the prayer and you will follow the prayer word to word as it is. And even for majority of us, when we talk about Christianity, we talk about the highest prayer. We talk about our Father who art in heaven, and we all go to that prayer. And we all go to that prayer to say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. But when we talk about spirituality, then that will be where we more say, you say what you need to say. You just talk, you converse with divinity, you converse with God, you call God to be who you want him to be, or even not a him, but we know with the tongue we are so used to referring to this masculine God outside of ourselves, and that is religion. You go to church, you seek God, you seek to be part of the community, seeking the higher power. But when we talk in spirituality, spirituality is not about seeking God outside of yourself, but it's you finding the God within you. In spirituality, it's all about the inward. It's you understanding that you are an extension of source and not a product. Yes, you are creation, but above all, you are also creator, because you are an extension of source. And even when we go back to religion, and please understand, I will refer more to Christianity because that is my point of reference. I'm still learning about other religions as I practice as a spiritualist. But I grew up in Christianity. I grew up reading the Bible. Even to today, I still have a Bible in my Ndumba. I still use a Bible for divinations, and that is for me the point of reference that will be more appropriate when I go back into religion every time. So in spirituality, you understand that you are God, or you are an extension of God. And you don't go seeking outside of yourself, but you seek everything inside of yourself. Within, it's about practices and experiencing divinity in your own space. Because when you look at religion, it's actually you experiencing God through another person's experience, because all religions have a point of reference of a person. Christians, they're all about Christians, they talk about the Christ-like behavior or the Christ-like way of living, and the point of reference for them is Christ. We need to be like Christ. When you look at Buddhism, they look at Buddha and they want to say we need to be more like Buddha in our lives and our daily living. When you look at Islamic, then we're talking about Muhammad. When you look at Judaism, we talk about Abraham, and I can go on and on and on. But we find those characters that are then put in on a pedestal, and we are all aspiring to be like them. But when you find yourself in spirituality, there's actually a word that I found a few months back, ominist. And I related, and I'm like, okay, so it's okay. I'm an ominist. I'm a spiritualist growing, as I always say, hashtag spiritualist growing. And you go back to us as Africans when we talk about Uktwasa, and you say Uktwasa kupheli, because we are forever growing in spirituality. So when you talk about an ominist, is somebody who says that there is no truth in religion, but truth can be found in all of them. So not one religion can give you all the truth, but all religions have a certain degree of truth in them. Because at the end of the day, it is a human who experienced God. And you are also now human. You are a spirit having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. And that is what we understand in spirituality, that it is the other way around. I am spirit and I'm in a human or physical body, and therefore I am having the experience of a human, or I am in physical realm having the physical experience, but at the end of the day I am spirit. I am not aspiring to be spirit, but I am spirit. So when you come to religion, you find that then we follow a certain behavior of a certain person about their morale, their way of living, how they experienced God. But in spirituality, you are more individualizing your experience. And as I always say that for me, sometimes I believe that we are now in a position, or we are a generation that has come to say, listen, yes, there's a book of life, or there's books of life, because we've got the Torah, we've got the Quran, the Bible, we even have ancient Kemetic teachings where there's just there's books that were written. But those were experiences of the people in that lifetime. Maybe we're a generation that's coming back. Hence, I always advocate for journaling. We are coming to also write our own book of life and our own experience with divinity, because in so many times when we dream, when we write our visions down, we are no different from the books such as Ezekiel, when he says, and I was taken by, I was taken by my hair and I was put on a mountain and I saw dry bones. Those are the same dreams that we're experiencing. I was walking and I saw myself getting into the water and I was under sea and I saw people living and I saw people talking to me, people, functioning underwater. I went underwater and I saw this creature coming to me, snake-like creature with this many colors. The eyes were like this. So we are not really experiencing anything different from what they were experiencing. And for me, the only difference will then be the journaling. And again, in Christianity, remembering that with Christianity, there's also still a lot of questions about where, who, black, white. So we still have a lot of question marks also. But religion is about that. You follow this way, you believe in this. Otherwise, it's sinful, it's evil, it's ungodly. Because God is given an image that is going to sit there, and you need to have a checklist where you're ticking that really I am godly. Religion is about the future. We prepare to go to heaven. We prepare to go to this place where there's going to be gold streets, honey, milk. But when you talk about spirituality, it is about the present. It is about the now. It's the state of the mind. It's your mindset. I think it's a few days back, I was talking to a few people and they were saying, what's the difference between hell or heaven, or where is hell and where is heaven? And I said, well, for me, every time I talk about hell and heaven, I always look at my conscious and subconscious mind. And in this case, hell will be my conscious mind and heaven will be my subconscious. Because in your subconscious mind, you are forever dreaming of positivity, or you are very much warned if there is evil in your space. It is a space where purity is very important. If you are going to be given something that is going to make you impure, you will definitely see it in your dream. That is your subconscious mind talking to you, telling you that, listen, I'm dreaming of being in dirty water. I dream of myself being in dirty water. And when you come to your conscious mind, it worries you to say, but why would I be in that? And then we come and interpret and say, maybe we need to do a cleansing. It's a sign that a space where you're not in clean. And when we come to the conscious mind will tell you that you don't have the money, you can't have, you can't go and buy that tracksuit, you don't have the money, you can't afford it. But your conscious mind will always be saying, look within you, look at the potential, look at what you are, believe that you can do it. It's always pushing us to be the best version of ourselves. And again, for me, the other way that I look at it is that, listen, when I'm sleeping, I dream of my grandmother, my grandfather, those who have passed on. And the one thing that we are taught growing up is that they are going to heaven, especially if they have lived such a godly life of religion. And hey, our ancestors were very godly. You would be locked out of the house on Sunday if you're not going to church, and the key will be turned when they come back from church, and only people coming back from church would eat. If you didn't go stay where you are. And they followed religion. They were very religious. They followed. They understood, and they would do everything by the book. So when there was that concept of they're going to heaven, even when we sent them off, because there's singing, there's scriptures that are read, then you understand that when you're sleeping and your grandmother is with you, am I not in heaven? Yes, they are visiting me, but am I not also experiencing a part of heaven, because that's where they are? And when you wake up, hell is known as this place where you're going to feel hot, you're going to be burned, you're going to have stress, you're going to be poor. And when you look at a mind that is always being, that is always feeding you negative thoughts, where you are not trusting yourself, where you have lack of confidence, where you cannot even verbalize what you're feeling, you're already in hell, because your days are just So for spiritual people, you find that we are about the present. What am I feeling in this present? Hence, we are always saying, be intentional in your thought. Acknowledge the thought and also move away from it. Acknowledge that I am feeling tired, I'm feeling discouraged, I've tried this task, I've studied, I'm not okay. But move away and try to see what can you do. So we are about the present, the mindset, changing your mindset so that you can have a better experience of whatever that you're having. And then when we again look at religion, like I said, we will look at how people are then in a community or a group. And in this sense, you are going to the church. You have a building that you need to go to where you are going to meet with everybody else, and you are lifting each other's spirits up. In religion, it's about the community, the experience, we do it together in the same way. I belong. There's that thing of I need to belong here, I need to belong here. But in spirituality is about the science, if I can say so. It's about the principles. It's about understanding that I'm experiencing God on my own. I'm experiencing divinity, and not because I'm seeking Him outside of myself, but like I said, we seek God within ourselves. And that is what spirituality is about. Seeking, not even seeking, sorry, finding the God within you. But when we look at religion, you're seeking God, hence you have to go to church. Hence, if you don't go to church, you are, if you don't go to church on Sunday, anyhow. But like okay, you're saying now that COVID there is no church. Exactly. And for me, I always tell people that COVID, it's somehow a push. It was a push for us to remember who we are as people. We are spirit before humans. And now without church, everybody has been pushed into a corner to become spiritual, because you're no longer relying on mamang atlabina sefela to pump you up. I used to have a pastor who would say that, some people are like, Togoza Fencer, thank you for the gifts. Some people are like balloons. Sunday, they come to church and they're so flat. And you start, the singing, the pastor starts opening the scripture, there's preaching that happens, and it's like the balloon is being blown. You're feeling up, you're floating. Immediately after church, the very same person is not going to go greet the neighbor. They're going to look down on them. Still, as I said, and I'm from Postola, so we have Siaporosa. And then the balloon is again slowly deflating. And that is religion or religious people. You find that they need to be inspired, they need to be pushed into a space where they can experience God. But when you're spiritual, you experience God even in silence. Hence, spiritual people are about practices such as meditation, hiking, going and sitting next to the river. Those practices that require silence show you how much of a spiritual person that you are. Because when you are spiritual, you understand that you need to listen to spirit. And spirit, we talk about, when we go back to science, we'll say air. And when we go to Christianity, God is air. God is spirit. Moya, air, moya, spirit. Then you understand that you need to listen to the spirit, and the spirit is within you. The spirit is within you. And that is the spirit that you're going to listen to, because the spirit is God. And the other thing that I always say is, when you go back, I said I'm going to refer to the Bible, I'll refer to the Christian way, because that's the point of reference that I have. We always talk about, in the beginning, there was a voice was God, and God was the voice. And I was also explaining to the people that I was talking with to say, when you look at your vocal cords, and I'm so happy and I'm lucky, and I understand now why I had to go the nursing route before I became a full-time gogo or a full-time spiritualist, growing always, a person who is now growing spiritually. But when you look at vocal cords, in order for your vocal cords to have a voice, or for the voice to come out as you hear me speaking now, breath is necessary. Breath is necessary. You need to breathe. I cannot talk forever and ever and ever and ever and try to talk and not breathe, and then you see, already I'm suffocating. So I was like, already it feels like I'm suffocating. So breath is necessary for me to speak more. Lentswe ine ili modimo, lentswe le ne le le ho modimo. And we say when he created, he then breathed air. That's why I say we are not just creation, but we are an extension of source. We are therefore creators. So when you are talking, when you speak out your voice, remember that that is you as a spirit that is living in this physical realm speaking, but it's very important to listen to the spirit within you, because that is source. That is source. When there's a problem with a tree, we don't go to the branches and cut it and hope that the problem will be solved. But they know that you would go to the roots. And that is spirituality. Understanding that if you need to see a change in the world, you have to start with yourself. You have to start with yourself, and you have to bring the change from within first. Because you are not just an individual, an island, but you are an extension of the next person. And I always also ask to say, what if we are actually cells of one body? Because when we go to anatomy and physiology, or even let me say physiology, we know that the body is made up of billions of cells. And every single cell, even now as I'm talking to you, there are cells dying and new cells, coming into the body. Each and every moment, billions of cells, millions dying, millions being generated, and I'm not even aware. Is that not what happens to human beings? Are we not dying each and every moment? With the death, there's also a newborn. Are we not just cells of one body? And not even aware of ourselves. Who we are, because my hand right now is doing whatever that is doing. My eyes are looking at the screen. My hands are not aware of what my eyes are doing, but they're functioning together in unity. Because the source, the God that is, my brain trying to connect everything in the nerves, is sort of like bringing harmony into everything. So spirituality is about looking beyond what it's been documented. And that's another thing about religion. There's lots of documenting. We have a lot of list of rules or instructions, but in spirituality, you're going to find that, there's not really a rule, but just a point of reference. Like I say with meditation, you've got people who will meditate with music. You've got those who need guided meditation. You've got those who need silence meditation. But at the end of the day, we are all saying we are meditating. So what's that? We are all saying that we're meditating, and there's no right or wrong way. It's just about what works for you and what works for the other person. When it comes to religion, it's about belonging to a group. It's about it's not about individualism. It's about collectiveness. And spirituality is about individualism. Who you are, what are you experiencing, and how you are experiencing it. Spirituality is your own experiences with divinity. Religion is a belief in somebody else's experience. I think there's a quote about that says religion is an experience, it's a belief about somebody else's experience, and spirituality is actually your own experience with divinity. So that is for me what I would like to say, and I'm just going to try to see if there's anything. We did talk about churches. We talked about the leaders of spirituality, of religion, I mean. So yeah, like I say, for me, I'm now walking around the words of that I carry the word omnist as one that I refer to, or the one that resonates with me, to say that, all religions are not truth, but there is truth in all of them, meaning that each and every religion contains a certain degree of truth, but it cannot be all truth. So in each and every religion, that's why I'm able to go and, understand that there is chakras, there's meditation, and also understand the importance of preserving days. And that's another thing about religion that I almost forgot. We celebrate the holy days. There are days that are celebrated, and somehow we have turned those holy days into the holiday that we will then say it is, it's still holy. They were referred to as holy because it was either the birth of Christ or the death of Christ or whatever, but they are actually holy, as in HOLY. And then we just made one word as language changed. And then you are going to also in that find you have those people being the most important and the most godly and the ones favored and chosen by God. And if you don't follow, as I said, then you need to look the same, you need to talk the same, you need to walk the same in order for you to be classified as part of a religion. And this we see even in the stories in the Bible, where you then will find when Jesus was crucified, in the story when his disciples started going into the momitzing, into the towns, they were recognized by their clothing. Some were even recognized by their tongue, to say, you speak like them, you speak like him, you dressed like him. Are you sure you were not one of his followers? And people, no. So there's that thing that, children from this certain school, we know they speak like this, we know they dress like this, we know they walk like this. And you'll even have, those batches now. Unitas. So you will have all those things that identify the community that you belong to in religion. And it is very important for one to hold the image, because when we look at you, we associate you. You don't hear people saying Mama Wense, so you mewa wesele kasiaparo. We don't even care about the name of the person, but because they're wearing red and black, or with a white top and what, we're gonna go like mewa wesele, and that will be the church associated. That's why it is said that you need to hold up the image, because you're not just walking around with you, but you are actually an identity for the whole church as a whole, for the whole group. So I'm gonna try to see if I can open now for questions for you guys to ask me anything. But the reason, let me, before I even go to the questions, before the thing is, the reason why I came to do the teaching, like I said, it's that okay, Mandisa's already asking a question. I didn't even see. Okay, but the reason why I came, guys, to do this teaching or to do this stream about differences between spirituality and religion is, I'm afraid in the seat that I'm sitting on, also as Gogo Noma, that we are turning African spirituality, what's supposed to be African spirituality, and we're making it an African religion, where we are talking about, like somebody asked me, I think it's Lot T, who said, Gogo, what is the cloth behind you? What is the meaning of the cloth behind you? And what does it represent? And in spirituality, you're supposed to find that out for yourself. It cannot mean the same thing. You don't know why my people gave it to me. You don't. And somebody said, but you have it. And if you have it, it means you should know why you bought it in your space. It means you should know what resonates with you. We are coming to a point where we are saying, what does a red bead mean? And everybody will go to, it represents the Nguni spirit. It is the blood. If you're wearing it, it means that, or when you dream of it, and kanti, red is a color that can mean a lot of different things. Other people, they can be shown to wear red and white beads, not because but because Their people are saying to them, there's been a lot of death in this family, we're trying to purify the family, and every child, every boy child that is born into this family, you need within the first 7 years of their lives at least have them wear a red and white bead, so that we know that there is peace, or a ceremony needs to be done, a cow slaughtered, hey, a boy child is always dying before the age of 5 in this family, and that then becomes the remedy of that family, to say the red and white bead in this family would mean that each and every boy child before the age of 5 must have a red and white bead somewhere in their body in order to appease the ancestors. And so there's many different meanings for one thing. And again, remembering that our ancestors long back did not even have lamabai. They would use the animal skin as they were. So how are we then wanting to just religiously say when it comes, yes, it is, it is true, because some of the things are really there, but why am I going to make it a Gogo Noma's way or no way to say, if kumele uyotwasa, you must dream of amabayi, you must see your gobela, what if me nanje into yam ukuthi I'm going to be sick, and when I get to a place and then I belong and I find healing, and then that's how my process is going to work. So you need to just understand that spirituality is one's own experience with divinity, and sometimes even and when we talk divinity, like I said, we talk God. God is spirit, and we understand that God said, I'm making man in my image. That is from the religious point of view. And if we understand that we are made in God's image, then why are we not understanding that when we dream of Ugogo Umkulu coming in my dream, giving me a message, it's actually, God coming to give me a message? Because I need to be with a familiar face, somebody that I understand, somebody that's going to make me feel relaxed in a dream. I used to dream of my namesake, and I didn't know her. And I would beat her up in my dreams. We would fight. It would be an argument to say, who are you? What do you want? This short, woman coming, lawyer, and because you get defensive, you don't know the person. And hence why maybe dreams are coming with the people that we know, those that we will be comfortable with, is because divinity wants us to be comfortable as message is passed. And with religion, like I said, it's a male sitting at the throne, very masculine. But with spirituality, you understand that the mother, the father of light. We talk about the he and the she, the god and the goddess in one. Understanding that in the sky, there's no way the sun can survive on its own, but also we need the feminine energies of the moon. Both being source and God in their own right, because there are plants that thrive better when the moon is at its peak, and there are plants that die if the sun is at its peak, and thrive when the sun is at it. So we need the balance between the two, the yin and the yang. That's spirituality, that you cannot possess one without the other, but you always have to choose the one that brings light over the one that brings darkness. Darkness is as important as light, because only through experiencing dark times are we able to appreciate light. Let me get to Mandisa with her first question. Is there a problem if someone does not identify with any religion but believes in the word? Not at all. That is me, and that is why I'm saying the word that I loved, that actually defined this person that you're asking about, is omnist. You are finding, not all religions are truth, but all religions have truth in them. So you cannot just identify yourself with one religion, or even with any religion sometimes, but you are able to believe that yes, there is a God, and we all believe there is a God. All religions believe in God. They believe in source. They believe in divinity. So it is not a problem at all. It is not wrong. The thing is that with religion, everything is documented, and when things are documented, you tend to read. That's why I'll never move out of the teachings of Christianity or some of the principles that I learned, but there are some that did not resonate with me, and I'm finding resonation maybe in in Judaism. I'm finding something that resonates with me in that department in Islamic religion. So it's always finding what resonates with you. That's spirituality. Spirituality is not saying it's wrong, being told to close the door. For an example, when we pray, close the door, go behind closed doors, pray and call upon your Father who is in heaven. So for me, and let heaven in religion being a place far from me, so in spirituality for me, I'm going to close the door. I'm going to sit and talk to my father or my mother, Ramasedi Waka, and I'm not gonna go and seek heaven outside of myself, but I'm going to say, okay, he's in heaven, and heaven is my subconscious mind, that state of mind, and therefore I need to tap into that state of mind to talk to the God within me. So when it comes to spirituality, it's very different. Everything you define on your own, everything you define for yourself. When you talk about the Lord, who is Lord for you, and in what situation are you defining this person? How are you defining heaven for yourself without talking about a place or whatever? And it's okay for you, it's a place, because that's where you will go, a place where there's green grass, waterfalls, butterflies flying, pink and yellow flowers. That is your heaven. It's good.